Franco O'Rourke.
Thank you, Concordia. I welcome this opportunity to contribute to this important debate relating to Ireland's corporation tax policy. 187,000 jobs are supplied by 700 US multinational companies that are located in Ireland, and it's supported by the IDA. Many others are indirectly employed as a result of the presence of these multinationals, as suppliers or contractors. So let's be in no doubt here. This is an important sector for our economy. The multinational sector now represents nearly 10% of the total employment in the country. Companies attracted to Ireland are attracted for a number of different reasons. These reasons include the skills of our people, the flexibility of our labour market, the ease of doing business, and the fact that we are the only English-speaking Eurozone country. Our access to the EU market and our tax system. While our taxation system is important for attracting foreign direct investment, we have many other factors that affect our ability to attract inward investment. Providing a competitive, consistent and certain tax policy is a key feature to the attractiveness of Ireland as a leading location for foreign direct investment. Corporation tax is also an important element of our tax base so that we can provide services for our people, and it is worth noting that 80% of all corporation tax paid in 2015 was paid by the multinational sector. It will boost the exchequer by €6.6 billion in tax receipts this year alone, the amount that nearly covers the Department of Education spend. Ireland has worked hard over the last 30 years to highlight its attractiveness to multinationals to set up in Ireland, as we have been hugely successful. This success, in my view, has led to other countries to copy our approach, namely investing in education and have a corporation tax close to our 12.5%. I read recently that despite having only 1% of the EU population, we have secured 11% of the US foreign investment into the EU by US companies. Great credit is due to the IDA, other state agencies and successive governments in pursuing such a successful strategy. We must realise that certainty in relation to our tax policy is a key enabler for attracting multinationals. We need certainty in relation to our fiscal position. We need certainty in relation to our education policy. We need certainty in relation to our tax policy. This ruling by the EU undermines that certainty. How can companies operate in Ireland if one year they reach an agreement with the Revenue Commissioner that's independent from government, and then a few years later the EU makes a ruling which undermines that decision? The retrospective nature of this decision is also unfair. In this House, we cannot make laws retrospective. The Revenue Commissioner is independent of political interference. It implements the law independent of government. It is important that the policy is not undermined. Tax policy is the competence of the Irish Government, not of the EU. In my own constituency of Kildare is home to many multinationals, including Intel, Hewlett-Packard, Wyatt. We have been hugely successful, and I want to acknowledge the work of Kildare County Council proactively developing a partnership with companies of such significance. I see at first hand how these companies have strengthened their bonds with local communities in Kildare, and I see how Intel have developed links with NUI Maynooth, who is now their global education partner, becoming a key knowledge provider for that company. We need to ensure that confidence in our tax system is restored following this decision by the EU in relation to Apple. The tax that Apple paid during the period of investigation is not defendable. Solutions should be arrived at through the OECD. It is an international issue. Indeed, recent changes in tax laws have shown Ireland leading the way in relation to eliminating these loopholes. Ireland is the only island nation in the EU. We need to be proactive in approaching and attracting inward investment. It is much easier for other countries who have land borders with EU partners to market their goods and services. In order to get our products and services to the EU markets at large, we use airports and ports. This potentially increases the cost of doing business in comparison to other countries, and this is why over the last 30 years we have successfully focused on policy initiatives to counterbalance this potential drawback. The EU should not undermine our key platform for attracting inward investment. The government must defend our rights in relation to our tax policy, and we have the right to protect our sovereignty on tax policy. Two final points, Concordia. It is important that the government are seen internationally to be a one in relation to this issue. It was disheartening to see that it took some days for the government to get its act together in relation to such an important national issue. Fine Gael and Independent Minister Saponi should not have allowed this issue fester in public for a number of critical days last week. Strategic national issues of importance, such as this decision, should not be treated so casually. Finally, if the EU were really serious about this 13 billion tax liability, why does it not indemnify Ireland from any future liability in connection with this alleged tax liability? It hasn't, and the reason why, because it's playing politics with our tax system. Thank you.